of technology affecting people's socioeconomic status is important because it's something inevitable. The rise of technology will affect people of all ages, despite them being considered high or lower class. We wanted to turn our focus towards middle-class America. The middle class is the largest, consisting of almost half of the American population. Since the 1970s, wages have been declining for the middle class and exploding wealth for the upper class. Results of a study taken in 2010 say that the richest 1% had 34% of America's wealth. This is the largest gap the U.S. has ever seen between the rich and everyone else.
Consider myself lower middle class.
Do you believe your family benefits from technology, career or educationally wise, and how so?
I do believe so in most ways. My younger brother is autistic and he uses a lot of different types of technology to communicate and to learn in different ways than typical functioning students. My parents' jobs are kind of affected in different ways with the use of technology. My mom works in a factory, as I said, and technology can kind of change what her job is and what her job entails. For my dad, it's kind of a benefit though because it makes his job easier.
Yes, but I wouldn't say in the same ways that other people's parents do job-wise. The main technological convenience I would say that my parents have, we have racehorses, so accessing a race form or being able to bet from a distance, or when horses are foaling, there's a device that lets us know when they're heading, so they're about to give birth. So it makes my parents' jobs more convenient, but I wouldn't say it alters my lifestyle in any major way.
Okay.
Today, a person can walk into an elementary school and see 9 out of 10 students with a phone in their pockets. This is not what it was like for the older generations whatsoever. They did not have cell phones until they moved out of their parents' homes. Children are growing up and not learning as many vocabulary words as they should because their parents are not talking to them. They are just sitting them in front of a television or an iPad. Matt Lesser goes on to say, children today are part of a digital generation that has grown up in a world surrounded by technology and the internet. They are using mobile phones, tablets, e-readers, and computers on a daily basis. This divide is creating problems because we have never had to deal with something like this before. Many parents that are members of a social middle class are struggling to keep up with all the new technology that keeps progressing. It is especially hard for the parents that want to give their children the new up-to-date technology, but they simply cannot afford to do so. Adults today are having a hard time keeping a steady income due to jobs requiring more skill and a lot more education or even a degree. This current divide is making the lives of middle class way more challenging. Not everyone has that former experience and they are basically being punished for this lack of experience. The current socioeconomic divide is taking the livelihood of the middle class, and we are looking for ways to alleviate this divide for good.
Much of the socioeconomic divide has been created due to the inability to access the necessary advancements in modern technology. Many parents in the social middle class struggle financially to provide their families with materials such as computer technology to succeed and progress in today's rapidly moving and advancing technological world. Because of this inability to provide modern technology to their families, the children are struggling to compete with other children in their age groups. Not only are the children struggling to compete, so are the parents. Jobs that are once considered blue-collar jobs are now requiring technical skills to be performed. If the older generation, which lie within the middle class, cannot compete by learning this new and rapidly advancing technology, the divide between the socioeconomic classes will continue to rise.
What do you believe are the positive and negative impacts of technology on socioeconomic status?
You can reach out to more people. You can make your business out there. It's just another way of getting your name out into the public.
Any negatives?
I see people on their phones and stuff too much. You can't have a family gathering without everybody being on their phones constantly.
Do you
But,
sorry.
Go ahead.
Do you like technology?
I do.
Do you like your kids having technology?
I do.
Okay. That's it.
So back to the initial question, what can we do to alleviate this economic divide? First and foremost, we need to assure that members of all socioeconomic households has the same opportunities to access modern technology. This may be better served with free access through our public libraries, schools, and community outreach centers. Training programs can be implemented within the communities as little to no cost to the participants. This can be done by individuals volunteering to help at the locations where the training is to take place. Many families who are financially stable will replace older technology equipment with the more modern and updated equipment. Donations of this equipment to learning centers could help lessen the expenses to furnish the facilities. Even though the technology continues to rapidly advance, the older, outdated technology equipment is still a reliable tool for training and engineering skills. There are other ways of alleviating the socioeconomic divide which would be beneficial and effective within the places of employment. As more and more of these blue-collar jobs become computerized, employers could train existing employees to do the jobs. This would allow those middle-class workers to continue to compete in their job fields without losing their jobs, resulting in lower economic status. Not only will this lessen the gap in the socioeconomic divide, it will also save corporate businesses the money of hiring, training, and restructuring their company's operations. We can see that there are measures we can take to help alleviate the socioeconomic divide which is being created by modern technology within the middle class of society.
Which generations do you believe benefit the most from technology?
The younger generation is growing up into it, and the older generation is having to adapt to it.
From collegiated institutions to welfare programs, systems like these foster the growing socioeconomic divide in America. The socioeconomic divide is a direct result of family wealth and the growth of big business from the 1960s to present. According to CBS News 97.3, Americans live below the poverty level. Depending on household size, the poverty level ranges from $24,000 to $32,000 annually. Socioeconomic growth for those that are low income has remained stationary. However, the middle class improves while the wealthy grows rapidly. Economic growth is measured by the gradual increase in income over time. For example, the wealthy make $150,000 plus annually and live in the 90th to 95th income percentile range. The middle class live between the 50th and 80th income percentile and make from $40,000 to $85,000 annually. Those that reside in low-income housing live between the 20th and 40th income percentile. They earn between $20,000 to $39,000 annually. In 1978, Americans in the 9th percentile made 6.7 times less than those in the 20th percentile, and by 2003, that ratio grew by 27% to 8.5. Those with low socioeconomic status often face a huge barrier. When it comes to improving socioeconomically with the cost of living varies from state to state, but on average, low-income families reside below the cost of living in their area. The average cost of living in Lexington, Kentucky is $48,000 annually, while 16% of Lexington's population makes $20,000 annually. To improve economically, a family is recommended to live at or above the cost of living. Jobs are being moved overseas, positions are being computerized, jobs are in low demand, cost of education is increasing, elite universities praise the wealthy, and the wealthy only contribute to the wealthy. These factors show how the socioeconomic divide, with time, continues to grow at a steady rate. These factors contribute to the rich getting richer while the poor stay poor. Furthermore, it would seem obvious, after considering these factors, the socioeconomic divide will be greater in both the near and distant future if preventive changes are not made.